Okay, welcome back to our political science class, the first session of the day. Okay, so in the last class, we discussed about state reorganization, and shaping the country, and the first challenge that faced by the first government of India. Clear? The first challenge. Okay, shaping the territory of the country. So related with that, we studied about the what we can say, Sardar Vallabhai Patel and his activities, and a state reorganization commission also was set up in the year 1953. Now you just write about the state reorganization commission. So write about reorganization of the states, as we know already. Sorry, as we know already, most of the states in India that formed on the basis of a language. Linguistic states are there, right? Linguistic states are there. Most of the states are formed on the basis of a language. Some exceptional cases also are there. Okay, so please write down the process of nation building. So heading it is reorganization of states. Reorganization of states. So before independence, we know that there are number of princely states. Okay, princely states that existed, and the areas under the direct control of the British government. Okay, now after the independence, it is the responsibility of the government to reorganize the states. So write down first point, reorganization of the states. First point, the process of nation building did not come to an end. The process of nation building, the process of nation building did not come to an end, did not come to an end with partition and integration of princely states. With the partition and integration of princely states, as we know already. Okay, we know that in 1947, August 1415, India that divided into two, right? That's what the partition. And number of princely states that were joined with India. Okay, so Sardar Vallabhai Patel is the person behind that. He made number of princely states to join with the India. Okay, but the challenges is not completed. Challenges are not completed by these two activities. So write down the process of nation building did not come to an end with the partition and integration of princely states. Now the challenge was to draw the internal boundaries of the Indian states. Now the challenge was to draw. Now the challenge was to draw the internal boundaries, the internal boundaries, the internal boundaries of the Indian states, So our international boundary is protected. Okay, we created it, and now the challenge is to create or draw internal boundaries. Okay, new states you want to form, right? Second point, during the colonial rule, during the colonial rule, during the colonial rule, the state boundaries were drawn. The state boundaries were drawn either on either on either on administrative convenience, administrative convenience, administrative convenience, administrative convenience, or simply or simply coincided with coincided with coincided with the territories annexed by the British government. The territories annexed by the British government. The territories annexed by the British government, or the territories ruled by the princely powers, or the territories ruled by the princely powers, or the territories ruled by the princely powers. Okay, so at the time of colonial period, how the country is divided, what method the Europeans used to divide the country, I mean the British people? How they divided? They divided on the basis of administrative convenience for administration. For administration, they divided. Next one. Next one. The area that annexed by Britishers, okay, they made that as a separate area. Okay, next one. The areas under the control of the princely states. Clear. These are the three divisions. Okay, just observe that clearly. Next point, third point. Indian national movement had rejected these divisions. Indian national movement had rejected these movements. Sorry, Indian national movement had rejected these divisions. Rejected these divisions. These divisions as artificial and had promised the linguistic principle as the basis of formation of states. As the basis of formation of states. As the basis of formation of states. Hence, linguistic states were formed. Hence, linguistic states were formed to change the nature of democratic policies, to change the nature of democratic policies which accepted the regional and linguistic claims. The regional and linguistic claims. And provided a uniform base to the plural nature of democracy. A uniform base to the plural nature of a democracy. Plural nature of a democracy. So, Indian national movement, the national leaders, they rejected the division that made by the Britishers. Instead of that, they promised the people to divide the country on the basis of language, linguistic states. Clear? And number of linguistic states were formed in India and agreed to the people to protect their language, and regionalism. Okay, clear or not? So there are different regions are there. There are different people are there speaking different languages, and the government is secured the right of each and every people in the country. Clear or not? By providing or by creating linguistic states. Okay. So a uniform base based on plurality. So different types of people are there, but rules and regulations are almost equal for everyone. I mean, the method that used by the government to divide the state is almost equal to everyone. Okay. Next point. The state
Can you repeat the
reorganization.
last sentence?
1 minute. Hence, linguistic states were formed to change the nature of democratic policies, which accepted the regional and linguistic claims and provided a uniform base to the plural nature of democracy, right? Uniform base to the plural nature of democracy. Repeating the entire point one more time, Indian national movement had rejected these divisions as artificial and had promised the linguistic principle at the basis of formation of states. Hence, linguistic states were formed and provided a uniform base to the plural nature of the democracy. Clear? Okay, next point. The State Reorganization Commission. The State Reorganization Commission was formed in 1953. Was formed in 1953. By the central government to redraw the state boundaries. By the central government to redraw the state boundaries. Redraw the state boundaries. The commission accepted that boundaries of the state, the commission accepted that boundaries of the state, the commission accepted that boundaries of the state should reflect, boundaries of the state should reflect the boundaries of different languages, the boundaries of different languages, the boundaries of different languages. Full stop. Not on the basis of its reports, on the basis of its report, on the basis of its report, the State Reorganization Act, the State Reorganization Act was passed. The State Reorganization Act was passed in 1956. In 1956. Okay, this led to the formation of 14 states, 14 states and 6 union territories, and 6 union territories, by giving uniform basis, by giving uniform basis to state boundaries, to state boundaries, to state boundaries. Repeating the entire point for one time. Listen carefully. The State Reorganization Commission was formed in the year 1953 by the central government to redraw the boundaries of the states. The commission accepted the boundaries of the state should reflect the boundaries of different languages. On the basis of its reports, the State Reorganization Act was passed in 1956. This led to the creation of 14 states and 6 union territories by giving uniform basis to state boundaries. Clear? Okay. So we studied, we discussed about reorganization of the states, reorganization of the states. Okay. So these are the most important topics from our chapter. Okay. Challenges to national buildings. Challenges to national building. What are the challenges basically? What are the challenges?
Shape the territories.
Hmm?
Shape the territories.
Yeah, shape the territories, shape the territory of the country. Then
Establish democracy.
establishing democracy and running a democratic government. Third one,
Achieving development.
developing the people and economy. Developing the people and the economy are the 3 basic challenges that faced by the government of India. Okay, at the time of independence or on the eve of independence, right? Yes or no? These are the basic challenges. Okay, so we discussed, we wrote all these notes there basically. Now we have to discuss these things in detail. Detail. First of all, challenges for the new nation. We discussed the 3 challenges, and we discussed about the partition, right? Partition of the country, and integration of princely states, princely states. What do you mean partition of the country? We know that due to the Muslim League and its pressure on international Congress or the government, what happened? In 1947, 14th and 15th midnight, the country is divided into two, the territory for the Muslims and India. And India, you can call it is Pakistan, that is Eastern Pakistan and Western Pakistan, and India. And India, right? So related with that partition, there were various problem arose. What are those problems? What are those problems there? Any idea? What happened in India due to that partition? What happened in India in that year 1947 due to partition? The question is that. Tell me.
Many resources of India were also
Pardon?
taken to Pakistan.
Many?
Resources such as land,
Huh.
few raw
So,
materials, imported
cultivate
textiles.
moved to, I mean, a huge area of land. Okay, that moved to Pakistan. Any other issues are there? The most important issue that related with the partition. What is that? What is the most important problem that created or that happened in India related with the partition of our country? Anybody?
So large scale migration to Pakistan and towards India.
India. Okay, large scale migration from India to Pakistan and Pakistan to India. Basically, the people, those who lived in the border villages, Any other problems?
Many people were moved to Pakistan.
Many people moved to Pakistan in the villages near the boundary. Then,
People feared India would turn into a Hindu country.
okay, the Muslims, they had a fear that India will, or they are not safe in India. They are not safe in India. So, again, what happened?
So they
What?
were
Hmm.
so they were right because in the borders the Muslims stay in the India and in the borders they fight.
Yes, go. Of course, yes, of course. Rights. Communal violence. Communal violence. Okay, I already told you that a number of people died in that incident, right or not? Communal violence. A clash between Hindus and Muslims. Hindus and Muslims. Okay, so government thought that they are able to control it, but that became a uncontrollable event, right or not? A number of people died in that incident. A communal violence. Communal violence. That is the basic problem that we learned. Okay, or we learned related with the partition of our country. And in your textbook, just open your textbook, everyone. In textbook, you can see process of partition. Process of partition. Very important topic for the examination. Already you wrote the note of this particular topic here. So I will reading for you people. Thus it was decided that what was still then known as India would be divided into two countries, India and Pakistan. Such a division was not only very painful, but also very difficult to decide and to implement. It was decided to follow the principle of religious majorities, and basically means that areas where the Muslims were the majority would make up the territory of Pakistan. The rest was to stay with India. Okay, so the politicians or the national leaders who felt it is very bad to divide, or it is very difficult to divide the country into two. Okay, one portion for the Muslims and other for other religions. It is very difficult process. Clear or not? Clear or not? Okay. So almost all the Indian national leaders, they are in a dilemma. They are in a trouble there. How to do this process? Okay. What method we will use to divide? Okay. So far in the history, no one learned about such sort of a division on the basis of what? Religion. Okay, so here it's going to divide the country on the basis of a religion. No any other reasons for division. Only pure religious reasons are there. The idea might appear simple, but it is presented all kind of difficulties. First of all, there was no single belt of Muslim majority areas in British India. We learned that in your note. You wrote that, right? There is no particular Muslim majority belt or area in the British India. British India. Okay, there were two areas of concentration. Two areas of concentration. One in the west and one in the east. There was no way these two parts could be joined. So it was decided that the new country Pakistan will comprise of two territories. Clear? There is no particular area in India where we are able to find the Muslim majority, but two areas of concentrations are there. Okay, where Muslims are more in number, more in a number. Okay, so what happened? Pakistan divided into two territories. Two territories. Okay, West and East Pakistan separated by a long expanse of Indian territory. Secondly, not all Muslim majority areas wanted to be in Pakistan. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, the undisputed leader of the northwestern frontier province and also known as Frontier Gandhi. Okay, who is that? Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Okay, his nickname is Frontier Gandhi. It's a great disciple of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. So he got a name, Frontier Gandhi. So he's the protector of which area? The northwestern frontier province. The northwestern frontier province. Okay, we can call it as NWFP, North West Frontier Province. Okay, he rejected that idea of partition. Frontier Gandhi or Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he rejected the idea of this division, but the Muslim League rejected it. Clear or not? Okay, they not heard the idea of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Okay, the third problem was that, that two of the Muslim majority provinces of British India, Punjab and Bengal, had very large areas where the non-Muslims were in majority. Eventually, it was decided that these two provinces would be bifurcated according to the religious majority at the district or even lower level. Okay, so the government decided that there are a number of non-Muslims are there in the region of Punjab and Bengal even. Okay, so that's another problem. Okay, what will do with this kind of people? Okay, so it is not that easy to divide the country like a single division. Okay, there are numerous problems also are there. Not easy to divide into two pieces. Into two pieces. Number of other issues are there. Okay, the decision could not be made by the midnight of 14th and 15th August. It meant that a large number of people did not know the day of independence whether they were in India or in Pakistan. The partition of these two provinces caused the deepest trauma of partition. So that particular idea, okay, the partition. So the day, I mean, 15th August 1947, no one knows that where they are belonging actually. They're staying in Pakistan or in India or in India. Okay, so there are always a trauma or a dilemma. The people faced a number of problems due to the partition. Okay, this was related to the fourth of the most intractable of all the problems of the partition. This was the problem of minorities on both sides of the border. Okay, so we already read that, right? So the partition created problem for the minority, those who lived near the border area. Border area. Lakhs of people, basically Hindus, they moved to Indian nation or Indian Union from the Pakistan border, and number of Muslims they moved to Pakistan from the Indian side. Okay. Next one, lakhs of Hindus and Sikhs in the areas that were now Pakistan, and an equally large number of Muslims on the Indian side of Punjab and Bengal, okay, and some extent Delhi and surrounding areas, found themselves trapped. They were to discover that they were undesirable aliens in their own home, in the land where they are and their ancestors had lived for centuries, as soon as it became clear that the country was going to be partitioned. Okay, so there's a dilemma for the people. The people, they don't know where want to move. Okay, so all of a sudden they forced to leave their property, their houses, their assets, and forced to move to somewhere, the land. Okay, land they don't know, or nobody's there. Okay, I mean, no one know where how to move, and they have to leave their relatives, their assets, their land and everything. No one had quite anticipated the scale of this problem. No one accepted, sorry, anticipated. What do you mean the term anticipation? Anticipation, expectation, what will happen to the future. That's what anticipated, sorry, anticipation. Okay, so where we are, no one had quite anticipated the scale of this problem. I mean, the scale means the level of this problem. the magnitude of that problem. Okay, no one had any plan for handling this. Initially, the people and political leaders kept hoping that this violence was temporary and would be controlled soon. Okay, so there's a clash started between the Hindus and Muslims. The government and the police thought that okay, the clash or the problem will control soon, but very soon the violence went out of control. The minorities on both sides of the border were left with no option except to leave their homes, often at a few hours' notice. Okay, this is what the last topic we discussed, right? Yes or no? The partition, the partition. Okay, without short time notice. Okay, or they forced to move from their own land to somewhere else. So this is the process of partition, process of a partition, how the partition was. Okay, next one it is consequences of partition. Consequences of a partition. Just read your note, what you wrote there. What are the consequences of partition? Just read. What are the consequences? You can check in your note that consequences of partition. The year 1947 was the year of one of such largest, most abrupt, unplanned, and tragic transfer of a population at human history has known. Right? Right? Okay. The partition of 1947 was most abrupt and unplanned, which created and spread communal rights, dividing the country into various community zones. Social sufferings to shelter in refugee camps, killing of women and suppression of family members, except it divided financial assets, employees, and it created conflict between Hindus and Muslims. Hindus and Muslims. That's a short answer. Shorter answer for that particular question. Okay, the consequences of partition. So from your textbook, the year 1947 was the year of one of the largest, most abrupt, unplanned, and tragic transfer of population that human history has known. There were killing and atrocities of both sides of the border in the name of religion. People of one community ruthlessly killed and maimed people of the other community. Killing, attack, mass attack is everywhere. Okay, of the other community. Cities like Lahore, Amritsar, and Kolkata become divided into communal zones. The entire country that divided into communal zones. What are the areas? Underline that. Amritsar, Kolkata, Lahore, Amritsar, Kolkata are the cities that are divided on the basis of a religion, become communal zones. Muslims would avoid going into an area where mainly Hindus or Sikhs lived. Okay, they're afraid. Similarly, the Hindus and Sikhs stayed away from areas of Muslim predominance. Clear or not? So people divided in the country on the basis of religion, on the basis of a religion. Forced to abandon their homes, okay, forced to abandon their homes and move across borders. People went through immense sufferings. Immense sufferings means uncountable. Okay, it is impossible to calculate that kind of suffering. Minorities on both sides on the border fled their home and often secured temporary shelter in refugee camps. Okay, they forced to leave their houses and even they took what? Shelter in a refugee camps. What do you mean refugee camp? Refugee camp. So at the time of calamities, we had about this term. What is that? A refugee camp. Who's a refugee?
Person who stays in another land.
Uh, the person those who lost everything, right or not? And he forced to leave his house, assets, and he moved with the things what he got with him. Okay, and stay far away from the what we can say their houses, and their future is not in their hand, basically speaking. So clear or not? Okay, so they're staying in communities and clusters. Okay, they often found unhelpful local administration and the police in what was still recently their own country. So now they came to know that no mechanism is helpful for them, no government is helping them, no police is helping them. Okay, till that day they thought it was their country, but today in 1947 August 15 today, okay, they came to know that okay, the country we lived it this many years, the police, the government is not able to help us. Okay, they travel to the other side of the new border by all storms of means, often by foot, sorry, all sorts of means, often by food. Even during the journey, they were often attacked, killed, or raped. Thousands of women were abducted on both sides of the border. Clear? So number of such problems. This underline that. Okay. They were made to convert into the religion of the abductor and were forced into marriage. Okay. Abduction means what? Forcefully they kidnapped. Both Muslims kidnapped the Hindus and vice versa, basically women, and forced them to marry them. Clear or not? And converted the religion too. Here, women were killed by their own family members to preserve the family honor. Many children were separated from their parents. Those who did manage to cross the border found that they had no home. For lakhs of these refugees, the country's freedom meant life of refugee camps for months and sometimes for years. Okay, we got independence, but people of both sides, okay, people from the both the religion, Muslims and Hindus, they faced a lot of problem. They lived in the refugee camps for months and even for years also. Okay, because in the new land, I mean the new country, there is no land for them, right? The people they came from, what we can say, Pakistan. Okay, they are unable to find a new home for them. Clear or not? Because there is no property for them here. Clear? And the people they moved from India to Pakistan, the land is new for them. They also suffered to find out a new asset, new home, or new land for them. Okay. Writers, poets, and filmmakers in India and Pakistan have expressed the ruthlessness of the killing and the suffering of displacement and violence in their novels, short stories, poems, and films. I already told you that there are a number of novels are there, a number of films are there, number of short films are there, short novels are there, all expressing or all says as the miseries that faced by the people at the time of partition. At the time of partition. Clear? Okay. So while recounting the trauma of partition, they have often used the phrase that the survivors themselves used to describe partition as a division of hearts. Underline that. So even the people from both sides, or the writers, the poets, everyone use this phrase to show the division of the country. What is that? The division of hearts. Division of hearts. Clear? Okay. So just read up to here. I'll give 1 minute for you people. Okay, just read it. Read it. Everyone, we will meet in the next class. So please read the textbook properly and the notes what you wrote properly. Okay, and submit the note today itself. What you wrote today, take a snap and send me. Okay, bye.